On the 25th of August 2018, legendary boxing match for the ages took place in the United Kingdom's Manchester Arena. An audience of over 800,000 turned up both physically and via an online livestream to witness YouTube stars Logan Paul and KSI battle it out for victory, raising over $6.5 million in the process. YouTube stars, you may ask? In a viral boxing match? What a time to be live indeed. But just how did these two YouTubers become the subjects of a fight supported by hundreds of thousands of loyal fans? And more importantly, why do these content creators feel the need to broadcast themselves fighting against each other to begin with? My name's Eric, and today I'm discussing the question, does YouTube nurture narcissism in its content creators? Now let's establish the clear truth. YouTube's platform encourages extroversion. Whilst older data suggested otherwise, a 2015 study from the Journal of Social Media and Society attributed YouTube to nurturing extroversion amongst its content creators, quoting that the platform has made creators more confident, socialized, optimistic, active, and talkative, hence more extroverted. But extroversion isn't always necessarily a positive trait, as we'll soon learn. It can also be related to a brash, over-assertive sense of self-indulgence. Now to begin with, I'd like to set some data by taking a look at the results from an online survey I conducted on fellow UTS Media Power students. I asked a variety of questions concerning the participants' experiences and opinions on YouTube, focusing specifically on their opinions of YouTube content creators and how this has affected their user experience and perception of the platform. Generally, participants admitted to having a reasonable experience with the platform, as we can see here, despite 35% describing their experience to have worsened in the last 5 years. Interestingly, in a question where I asked about creators participants' view within the last year, 95% of answers I received listed YouTube vloggers as opposed to any other content category. While this may sound somewhat baffling, human psychology shows this to be a highly logical statistic. In Kellen Aloka's book Videocracy, former vice president of BuzzFeed, Scott Lamb, describes the most powerful driver of all social media to be identity. More specifically, he describes one of the most foundational uses for online video to be the act of sharing one's identity and asking others about their own identity. In other words, content focusing primarily on a particular identity, for example, a YouTube personality, on the whole sees by and large more success than any other type of content category on the platform for this very reason. Of course, it's one thing to be viewing content, but I wanted to find out how people perceive the creators they watch, and I was surprised to find that 65% of participants admitted that they deemed one of the creators they viewed recently to have publicly exhibited narcissistic behaviour during some point in their time on the platform. Perhaps even more surprising, however, was the 85% of participants who admitted that they would be willing to watch content they would deem narcissistic by their own definition if the content was entertaining. In another question, I asked participants which YouTube personalities they deemed to have displayed narcissistic behaviour at some point in their career. To transition into an online content analysis, I'd now like to analyse just a couple of the content creators that participants listed, beginning with the most popular answer I received, the Paul brothers. Logan and Jake Paul have been active vloggers on the platform for many years, but only more recently gained viral traction for their controversial content. In 2017, Jake Paul released a music video titled It's Everyday Bro, a song in which he rapped about assets of his wealth and popularity. Whilst flexing is not a foreign convention in rap lyrics, Paul gained wide controversy on the video. Although it gained viral status with 214 million views, it also had a 2.5 million like to 3.9 million dislike ratio on the video page. Most of the recent comments criticised the video for Paul's lack of rap talent, the clumsy lyrics such as "England is my city," and applauding the like to dislike ratio tipping in a negative favour. The video also gained negative video reactions from many YouTube stars including PewDiePie, H3H3, Bart Baker, Rice Gum, and even hip-hop artist Post Malone. As a superficial video, one of the largest questions raised is whether this content is a direct reflection of Paul's real-life behaviour. To gain some insight into this question, I'd like to take a look at Boyd's Week 3 Media Power reading. Boyd discusses here the importance of context in social media content in the audience it's intended for. Whilst the reading focuses specifically on teenagers, the same principles can be applied to the psychology of YouTube content creators. As someone trying to create content for a particular target demographic, YouTubers face a risk unique to the internet. Unlike real-life interactions where they would be able to adjust their behaviour and mannerisms to each and every individual, YouTube doesn't allow this freedom. When, say, Jake Paul's behaviour and presentation in any given video is aimed at a specific age demographic, for example, this content not only reaches the target audience but also a broader YouTube community who can't relate to the content and therefore in many cases cast judgment. Of course, Boyd's explanation is not the only psychological explanation we can use to explain such behaviour. A study from the Chinese University of Hong Kong quotes YouTube as an ideal platform to attract creators with narcissistic personalities. The study revealed such people value the platform not to gratify their cognitive needs, as many would presume, but because it caters to the exhibitionist needs such as sharing opinions, broadcasting their lives, and having their identity recognised by a potentially broad community. Moreover, the feedback they receive through comments and reactions creates a reciprocal loop and encourages them to always be doing more, regardless of whether this feedback would be positive or negative. Take Lil Tay, for example, a 16-year-old who's built a following based on videos where she brags about her supposed wealth and success. The comments in her videos are almost completely negative. In a recent video, for example, I analysed the most recent 500 comments and did not discover a single compliment or positive remark. Instead, comments were filled with criticisms of how narcissistic viewers perceived her to be. Interestingly, she has disabled the visibility of likes and dislikes on her videos, likely due to the bad impression given from overwhelming negative reception. Beyond her own video pages, Lil Tay has also received reactions from other famous content creators such as PewDiePie and a slew of other YouTubers in a Fine Brothers React video. Lil Tay's goal is clear, gaining validation and attention, of which she has received much of, fueling her desire to do more. While this may be an arguably more extreme example, this underlying motivation is all too common. A 2017 study at Ohio University aimed to uncover what the core factors that predict various actions of participation on the platform would be. To find answers, a large survey was conducted to analyse the role of various motivational factors in line with the use and gratifications model amongst YouTube users. The survey uncovered that the largest factors to predict uploading to the platform was self-status seeking, which was defined by 4 sub-factors: to impress other users, to feel important, to make myself look cool, and because I feel pressured to do so. Sound familiar? These descriptions likely explain the psychology behind Lil Tay's upload motivations, and as the study confirmed, can also be attributed to the broader YouTube creator community at large to varying degrees. I'm about out of time now, but I hope this study has provided some insight into the psychology behind both YouTube content creators through my content analysis, as well as the many users who simply use the platform to view content who I surveyed. It now makes more sense to myself at least as to why YouTube creators act the way they do on camera, why we as viewers consume this type of content more than anything else, and how this creates a reciprocal loop. I hope you've learned something as well, and for more details I've included an annotated bibliography. Thank you.